Okay, there we go. I'm about to say, child, I don't know. I be having a lot going on. Hey y'all, it's Ashley at Bookish From. Welcome back to another video, and today we are here to talk a lot about what's happening in November. Like, two things primarily that I'm super excited for: the Skoden Readathon as well as Nonfiction November, which was started in the community by Book Olive. And so yes, I'm excited for both of these things. And so I have a whole pile of stuff here, which is, it's a whole pile of stuff, because what is life here? It's a whole pile of stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump in. I'm going to start with the Skoden Readathon because I think that's one that is extremely important to highlight. Kim, we are giving you your flowers right now, here and now. Thank you for even reaching out to me and asking me if I would be willing to share. You didn't even have to ask me. Like, you should have just said, Ashley, I need you to share this information, and it would have been done. Y'all, if you are not following Kim, honestly, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing at all. But I will leave Kim's channel down in the description box below. Her channel name is Native Lady Book Warrior. I've been following her for a while now. She puts out excellent content and excellent recommendations, and she's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spirit. Like, oh, goodness gracious. I could not sing high enough praises of you, and I am so happy that you went forward and you decided to create this readathon. It's just amazing. It's got me speechless. And y'all know I talk a lot, but it's low-key got me speechless. So I'm going to go through the prompts. Kim has an entire video that is an announcement video, and I will make sure that I link that video in the card symbol above. And so it is and I'm looking down because I want to make sure that I get all the prompts right so y'all don't miss anything, and keep all the same highlights that Kim kept in her video. But definitely you need to go watch her video for all of the information that you're going to need. And so it is, like I said, the Skoden Readathon. All the graphics, which are absolutely gorgeous, were created by Kim's daughter. They are, they're gorgeous. Some of the best graphics that I have seen for a readathon. They're absolutely gorgeous. Kim also has details for the readathon on Storygraph if you're interested in that. I am not a frequent flyer of Storygraph, but I know that a lot of y'all are, so definitely make sure you check that out. So the Skoden Readathon, it takes place the entire month of November, from the 1st all the way to the 30th, and there are quite a few prompts that Kim has listed out, as well as a bingo board that you could use to follow. So the first prompt is to read a book with queer or two-spirit representation. And I'm going to go ahead and say, like Kim, all of these books need to be by Indigenous authors. I know that for some of y'all, it may be like, oh, shouldn't that already be kind of like, you know, I don't want to say common sense, but you can fill it in with whatever you want to fill it in. But I'm just going to go ahead and say it again, that for this readathon, all of the books that you read for this readathon need to be authored by Indigenous authors. The second prompt is the Omau book cover. So your book should contain the colors red, yellow, blue, or black. Kim has stated before that you don't have to, it doesn't have to have all the colors, or it could be a mix. As long as it has one of those colors on it, it counts. The third is beyond the lower 48. So we are reading from Indigenous authors outside of the 48 mainland US. 4 is short story versus poetry. So to read short stories, books in verse or poetry. 5 is the one that I am the most interested in, like very, very interested in this. There's a 7-day challenge where you read only Indigenous lit consistently for 7 days. And Kim pointed out, which I think I want to reiterate here, is that you are reading nothing but Indigenous lit for 7 days. That means you pick up an Indigenous author here and you pick up an Indigenous author there, and you mix in whatever you want to mix in between for a week. No, you read nothing but Indigenous lit for a week, which is going to be interesting if if you have any other reading plans, but I think I'm going to try that one. And I know that I read a lot of comics and graphic novels and manga, whatever, but I think that would be a great opportunity for me to focus on reading specifically more Indigenous comic writers and illustrators. That'll be a perfect time to do that because I've been wanting to do a little bit more exploration in that area. Number 6 is to read an unread Indigenous author, just a new to you author. Number 7, which is my favorite one on here as well, which is the middle grade children's book prompt. I'm super excited to see this as a prompt. There's so many great Indigenous children and middle grade books, as well as Indigenous picture books, and so many great ones that have been coming out this year that I will be excited to share with y'all in the month of November. So the next prompt is SGJ, Rendon, and Weiden, which is a prompt that Kim dedicated specifically to Bree, which I love to see this. It's beautiful. Y'all are touching my heart. So this is to read a horror, mystery, or thriller book. Number 9, in honor of keeping up with Nonfiction November, Kim decided to make that a nonfiction book. And number 10, which Kim, listen, you, my heart, my soul. The bonus prompt is to read a graphic novel or a comic by an Indigenous author. I literally, when I saw this prompt, I was like, oh, my heart, my soul completely warmed. Absolutely love that prompt was including. So that gives me the opportunity to do some really interesting things with the comic book and graphic novel channel that I do have. So those are all the prompts. I am going to quickly go through, and what I'm going to do with this reading plans is I am not going to go through the explanation of any book, y'all. I just think that it would make the video way too long. I may make a comment here or there, but as far as giving a description for everything, my reading plan videos have been too long. There's no reason why a reading plans video should be almost 30 minutes long. That is quite ridiculous. So we're going to go back through and I'm going to tell you the books that I'm going to be reading for each prompt. There are some of these books that technically could be doubled up and used for prompts, but I kind of wanted to try reading something different because I wanted to explore some authors and some works that I had not read before. So for the queer Two-spirt prompt, I'm going to be reading A Lot's Away, which I've been meaning to get my hands on this one for a very, very long time, especially since Darcy Little Badger's second book, A Snake Falls to Earth, has been released now for at least a year, if I'm not mistaken. So I do want to go back and read A Lot's Away. I also have a comic that I want to read by Darcy Little Badger, which is a compilation that is, I think, between Darcy Little Badger, Rebecca Rowan Horse, and Stephen Graham Jones. The actual bind up from Marvel comes out, I believe, at the end of this month, or it actually could be releasing this week that this video goes up. But I will be getting my hands on a copy. Either way that it goes, I will be getting a copy of that. The second prompt of Omau, read Red, Black, Blue, and Yellow. I'm going to be picking up Black Sun by Rebecca Rowan Horse. I know that the second book is out. I have owned this book for a while, and I believe I started listening to this. That's what ended up happening. I started listening to this just via audio, and I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is one of those books that you either need to read physically or do a blended read of. For me personally, I think, because listening to it on audio, I just got way too confused, and I was like, I think I need to see the text with this one. So finally, making it back around full circle, I will be picking up Black Sun, and I'm happy because this one has black, yellow, and blue on the cover, which when I saw this prompt, I was like, how am I going to make this one work? And I was like, Black Sun has 3 of the 4 colors. The next one that I have on my list for the prompt Beyond the Lower 48 is going to be The Marrow Thieves. This is by Sherry, who is an Indigenous author out of Canada. And so I am focusing on an Indigenous author that is not part of mainland US. And I've been meaning to pick this one up for ages because I've had it for a couple of years now. And this is kind of like a science fiction dystopian book where global warming has destroyed a good portion of the earth, and Indigenous people of North America are being hunted for their marrow. I know that this one actually just got a sequel this year, either late last year or early this year. This one just got a sequel because I remember actually purchasing the book from my library system. So if I finish this one and I enjoy it, I definitely will be interested in picking up the sequel. The next one that I have on my list is one that I actually was going to read this month, but decided that I actually wanted to get a physical copy of it because I believe that it includes some illustrations, if I'm not mistaken, and they include Cherokee syllabary. And so I was like, I actually want to get a physical copy of this one because I don't want to wait, like I don't want to miss out on that aspect of it. And so this is the book that is going to fulfill the prompt of short story in verse, or so reading books that have it's a short story collection or books that are written in verse, and that's Man-Made Monster. This book is by Andrea L. Rogers. She's a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, and this is a short story collection that is horror based. I am so excited for this one. When I had to go through and do selections and make a decision about buying this one, as soon as I read the description and the reviews on this, I was like, oh, we definitely have to own a copy of this one. It has everything from werewolves, vampires to zombies. I am so excited for this because everything is seen through a Cherokee lens. And I'm just excited to see how all of this is going to turn out. So I definitely thought that I would include that. So instead of reading it this month, I was like, I'll just go ahead and push that back and read it in November. Okay, so of course the next challenge is the 7-day challenge, which I don't have anything to show you for that. I'm just going to try. I wonder if I could take the 7-day challenge and just spend a week reading nothing but Indigenous graphic novels and comics. That might be a thing that happens, to be honest with you. And the next prompt is an unread author. So I have a couple of people on this list that are new to me. Actually, every author that I've talked about so far is new to me. So I can use either any of those books and authors for that prompt. The next one is the middle grade children's prompt, and I am going to use Hero of the Water Monster. I've been meaning to pick up this book since I selected this book a while ago as well. So a lot of my knowledge of these books, y'all, actually has been through my own selection process at my job, which is why I kind of know some of the children and middle grade stuff, because I have to do that, and YA stuff, that's stuff that I have to do for my job. And so I have been staring at the cover of this one for an extremely long time, and it came out last year, and I was like, I really need to read that. I really need to read that. I really need to read it. And I even had checked it out on audio and was going to listen to it, but then I got caught up in other stuff and my hold expired and somebody else wanted it, so I just never went back to it. So I think that this will be a great opportunity for me to go back and explore that. For the mystery, horror, and thriller prompt, I am going to go with reading a Stephen Graham Jones book, which is Mapping the Interior. I have a couple of Stephen Graham Jones books that I could have chosen from for this list, but I decided to go with a novella because this is one that I think is going to grasp my attention. It is a book that is considered a literary horror that focuses on race in America, that is deeply rooted in the contemporary Native American experience. And I just think that this is going to be an interesting read for me. So I decided to go with this one for that prompt. For the nonfiction read, I decided to go with Making Love with the Land by Joshua Whitehead. This is a nonfiction that explores a multitude of different things, including being queer and indigenous. So I could have gone with this one for the queer Two-spirt prompt, but I really wanted to include this in the nonfiction prompt as well. And for the comic and graphic novel prompt, I'm going to focus on two series, particularly both I have started but have not finished. The first being A Girl Called Echo, and the second being Surviving the City. So I have read, I think, the first 2 volumes of A Girl Called Echo, which is a 4-volume series, and then Surviving the City is a 2-volume series, and I've read the first volume but not the second. And so I'm excited to go back and start from the beginning with both of those series and read them all the way through, and also pick up some more Native and Indigenous comics and graphic novels, because there's some middle grade graphic novels that are Native and Indigenous, and I'm so excited. There's like 2 or 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, but as always, I'm not going to do that here. I save that for my other channel. So if you're not following me there, I will be putting out a video specifically talking about my November reading plans there, where you can find some recommendations definitely for comic and graphic novels by Native and Indigenous authors. Okay, so thank you once again to Kim. Kim, this is great. I'm so excited to be participating. I'm so excited to be participating. Like, this is going to be so much fun. I think you've done such an amazing job. I think that the community is definitely going to enjoy this, and I'm so glad that I can further share this information with people who watch my channel. You are an amazing, amazing, amazing human. I can't tell you that enough at all. I really can't tell you that enough. And so I just want to let you know I appreciate you. This is an amazing readathon, y'all. Definitely check out Kim's channel. Make sure you check out her announcement video, check out all the graphics. Make sure I leave all of the relevant information down in the description box below. All right, so on to what else I have planned for the month of November. So I just have a few things that I'm going to point out here. November is Nonfiction November, and Olive from a book Olive definitely has been the nonfiction voice in the booktube community for years. If y'all did not know, I will also link Olive's channel down in the description box below. Olive also came up with a Nonfiction November video that I will put in the card symbol above for y'all to check out. During Nonfiction November, I kind of just read freely. I just read whatever. Olive is the reason why I started exploring nonfiction more. At first, I was very intimidated by nonfiction, and now, like, I can't wait to get my hands on some nonfiction. I gravitate towards nonfiction, so I really would like to thank Olive for that. So the two books that I have planned, because you know, plans are plans, and you see me dropping down trying to get these books. Plans are plans, and I probably will listen to and pick up some more nonfiction outside of this, especially because I read nonfiction for all ages. So expect to see some middle grade YA and children's nonfiction, but the two adult titles that I think I want to get to for Nonfiction November, one of them, White Trash. This was on my top 10 books I need to finish before 2023. So I thought Nonfiction November would be a great time to pick this up. And then also Cass by Isabel Wilkerson, The Origins of Our Discontents. And this is the same author of The Warmth of Other Suns, which I do own. I was going back and forth on whether to read The Warmth of Other Suns, but I think I'm going to go with Cass. It's a little bit shorter, and I also have access to the audiobook to do blended reads for both of these. So whew, this is a task I'm taking, but I think I can get it done. Next on my list, I have Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This is one that was voted on by my patrons to read for the month of November. This was a close tie between this one and The Firekeeper's Daughter. I think I still may read The Firekeeper's Daughter, but patrons do get a vlog from me of the books that we do end up reading for book club. So everyone had been wanting to read Razor Blade Tears, and I was like, yeah, I've been wanting to read it too. So I was happy that this one was chosen, and it's one that I owned that was on my shelf. A couple of other books that I have planned that I just kind of want to get to, two of them being from, I can't remember if this one actually was on my top 10. Maybe it was. I can't remember if it was on the 10 books to read before 2023, but this one was, and that's Fablehaven by Brandon Mole. I talked about that one in that video, and I need to start scheduling, because now I have to read 5 of those books in November and 5 of those books in December if I want to finish that list by the end of the year. Hopefully that is a thing that does end up happening. Who knows when it comes to me. I also included Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This is a book that I read once a year. I have been reading it once a year since 2019. I have read it as an ebook. I have listened to it on audio, but I have not read it physically, and now I want to read it physically and annotate my copy. This is one of my favorite age gap slow burn romances of all time. I don't know how to explain my love of Birthday Girl. Birthday Girl is very divisive. People usually either like hate it or love it. I'm one of the people who does love Birthday Girl. I can't explain to you why I love Birthday Girl so much, but I really like what Penelope Douglas does with the characters in this one. And then the last one that I have on this list is A Point by Brandy Colbert. I've been really interested in reading more ballerina-esque type of novels. I don't know why I have that. This is definitely one that I picked up off of my shelf because of a mood. I literally like looked at my shelf and I was like, what do I feel like reading? And outside of things that I felt like were definitely like things I just needed to get to because I had assign certain things, I was like, point. I really want to get to point because I think this is one that I'm really going to end up enjoying. So this focuses on a young girl who is starting to get back to some normalcy after a huge thing happens, and that is her best friend Donovan ended up getting kidnapped, and he spent 4 years with the kidnapper. And when he returns after those 4 years, she starts reliving some of those experiences, like after his abduction and his actual abductor. So she is trying to work through that. I like Brandy Colbert as a writer. I needed to read more from Brandy Colbert, and somebody was selling this book on like Instagram, and it was like maybe $3. So I was like, okay, I really do enjoy Brandy Colbert as a writer, and so I thought it would be interesting for me to pick up Point, which, you know, ballerina vibes. Just ballerina vibes. All right, y'all, so that is it. Those are all of my November reading plans. I hope that y'all are going to participate in both Nonfiction November as well as the Skoden Readathon. This is a great time. Remember that, especially with Indigenous authors, you should be reading them year round, all the time, 365 days out of the year, not just in November. But this is definitely a great time to highlight and really push those authors into the limelight and encourage people to read them more. But you definitely should be reading them all throughout the year. Nonfiction November, it is a great time to start to pick up nonfiction. I know a lot of people who are uncomfortable with nonfiction, but I think it is a great way to really, I don't know, transition into reading more nonfiction, because that's how I got started with nonfiction. So shout out to Olive for giving us that encouragement. Definitely, if you're looking for nonfiction recommendations, I highly recommend checking out Olive, because she reads a lot of nonfiction, a lot of great nonfiction, and she does these great reviews of the nonfiction that she reads. So if you're looking for stuff or ideas for Nonfiction November, definitely check her out. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're looking for ways to support the channel or follow me on social media, all the links will be down in the description box below. And I will be back with another video soon. I have literally trained my brain to say that, y'all, because I was thinking about something completely different. That whole section that I just told you, I was not thinking about what I said. I was thinking about something completely different. I was thinking about putting the food in the refrigerator that I cooked this evening. I was thinking about that as I said that. That is, the mind is amazing. That is amazing. I was not here with you. I was thinking about something else. Wow, that's weird. Okay. All right, enough. I'm done. I will be back with another video soon. Bye.